What's up, Ango Army? Welcome back to the Ango Show. I'm your boy Ango, and today it is March 1st, and we're kicking things off with tons of wrestling news. So with that being said, let's just jump right into it. If you're an avid follower of the channel, then on yesterday's video, you may have seen the story that I spoke about with a ton of speculation leading to Vince McMahon returning to creative. Well, this morning, WrestleVotes dropped a very interesting tweet suggesting that maybe the speculation is actually right. I'm told the highly anticipated, very compelling Brock Lesnar vs. Omos WrestleMania matchup was the idea of one specific powerful person who pushed it through. Now, this tweet did actually include a photo of Vince McMahon as well, so obviously everybody's speculation must be right at this point, right? Not necessarily. So here's the thing. Nobody here has confirmed that Vince McMahon is actually back leading the charge in creative. However, Vince McMahon is the head of the WWE, and technically speaking, he could very well decide whatever the hell he wants to do if he chooses to do so. Now, here is where things get interesting. Is Vince McMahon just suggesting this to Triple H? Or is the news that Vince McMahon is technically running creative, but it's not actually being told publicly? And I get it. This is not everybody's first decision when it comes to a match choice. I actually agree. I don't really like the idea of Omos versus Brock Lesnar, and it actually has nothing to do with Omos. It has everything to do with Bobby Lashley and Brock Lesnar. So why not just go with that match? Nonetheless, Triple H apparently has already been influenced by Vince McMahon, and all of those great loving things that we loved about WWE in the last 8 months could very well go down the drain, something I'm not thrilled about. There also seems to be a lot of uncertainty about Vince McMahon's role going forward and potential sale. We're going to talk about that in just a little bit, but yeah, this will get interesting. We all know that the WWE has plans to bring back King of the Ring, as well as Queen's Crown. And we all know that it's going to be part of a pay-per-view, but nobody necessarily knew exactly which pay-per-view it was going to be. That is until today. PW Insider has actually reported that WWE will be bringing the Kings and Queens tournament to Crown Jewel in Saudi Arabia. This will actually be expected to take place on May 27, 2023, and this is all being part of WWE's long-term relationship with Saudi Arabia. Now, you might be wondering, Ango, why are you talking about this? Who cares about a pay-per-view date? And yeah, I kind of understand why some of you might think that. But it's also really important for you to understand that WWE just a month ago had a very huge deal potentially go through with Saudi Arabia's investment fund. And with Saudi Arabia's public investment fund possibly being the company to purchase WWE, then it does make a lot of sense to pay attention to this specific news story. You never know what can happen, especially when Nick Khan is specifically saying that potentially WWE could be sold within the next 3 months. It's March 1st. May is not that far away. My point that I'm making is that WWE's new owners could very well be kicking off the purchase by celebrating with a pay-per-view in their country. So it is something to definitely pay attention to, and it's something I'm definitely going to be showing my focus on because there is a lot of talk about a potential WWE sale, and we're going to be talking more details on that in just a little bit. In the latest FTR podcast with Dax Harwood, co-host Matt Kuhn did ask Dax Harwood if his recent tweets suggesting that he might be, a little unhappy with AEW, if those tweets are part of a work. And Dax Harwood actually did confirm that they are not. Now, this is very interesting considering we're going to go into AEW Dynamite with a tag team battle royal. There's obviously thoughts that FTR could be the jokers in the match. There is a ton of speculation that FTR could be working out a long-term deal with AEW. But going into April 2023, when FTR's contracts expire, it's going to be really interesting to see what actually happens going forward. Now, Dax Harwood made it very clear that he was not happy. He felt slighted by AEW, and he felt like AEW wasn't giving them the best stuff to work with last year, which honestly, I kind of agree. Now, if you've been following this channel for years, then you know that we spoke about it last year, that AEW was going to try and blur the lines of what is real and what is scripted, which sometimes when I think of CM Punk and FTR and everything that has gone down in the last year, this is one of those prime examples. But don't get it twisted. FTR really wasn't booked that well in 2022, and it's kind of unfortunate because they're one of the best tag teams in the world, and I truly mean that. And I know this is also going to surprise people, but I think AEW made the excellent choice in having the Guns actually win the AEW Tag Team Championship belt. So if FTR was actually the jokers in this casino battle royale, I really don't want them winning because I don't want the Guns' reign to be a transitional reign. I thought they did a great job with that build-up. And a very interesting story that I definitely did not expect to talk about, well, John Lauranitis, people power, could be coming to AEW. I know, it sounds silly, but Jim Ross was talking about this on Grilling JR, and without reading the entire story to you, here's what you need to know. Jim Ross was at the Talent Hotel, and this was right before Dynamite in Phoenix, Arizona. He then saw John Lauranitis with Dean Malenko because they're buddies. And then essentially what happened next was John Lauranitis and Jim Ross had conversation and cleared the air. If you don't know much about their history, you could definitely look it up, but nonetheless, these guys definitely didn't see eye to eye. Now, Jim Ross says everything is cleared up. He says everything is good, and he wouldn't be surprised if John Lauranitis was actually trying to get a job with AEW, maybe part of talent relations or something. Well, I hope Tony Khan knows a little bit better than to do that. And in the main event of today's video, we are talking about a potential WWE buyer backing out. Yeah, so the CEO of Endeavor, Ari Emanuel, he was asked if the company was interested in acquiring Vince McMahon's WWE, and the top executive actually responded by praising WWE and praising what Vince McMahon has done with the WWE. However, he then revealed that Endeavor isn't actively seeking to acquire WWE. He says, as it relates to WWE, it's an unbelievable product. Vince is unbelievable. He's created a great business. We've had a long-standing relationship with them over 2 decades. We're doing, as I indicated, the on-location business with them, the Endeavor streaming with them. You know, his business is really valuable, but we're not going to do anything as it relates to changing our leverage position right now. Now, for those who aren't aware, Endeavor was linked to possibly buying WWE, and it would make sense because Endeavor owns the UFC. So sports and entertainment is definitely kind of their thing. They understand pay-per-view, they understand streaming, and on top of that, they understand WWE's business model. However, there's a very interesting theory I have here. I'm predicting Vince McMahon is not selling the WWE. I know it sounds crazy, but I think all of this is just a little too weird. I think Triple H will not be running WWE later on in 2023. I think every person who is speculating that Vince McMahon very well could have been just trying to sell the WWE was just simply a way to get back into control of WWE, which I think is just ridiculous, but what can you do? And what makes this story so incredibly fascinating is the fact that tons of companies that were rumored to buy WWE are now no longer rumored to buy WWE. Comcast, no longer rumored to buy WWE. Endeavor, confirming they're not interested in buying WWE. And Disney, we still don't even know what the hell is going on with Disney. But we do know Tony Khan is interested, and we know that Tony Khan could get financial investors to help him out. So who really knows what the plan here actually is? If Vince McMahon is looking to cash out, I'm sure somebody's willing to pay the money. If Vince McMahon really wants creative power, I'm not sure exactly who would be interested in that. But me as a viewer of the WWE, I could confidently say I don't want it, and I don't know if I would watch WWE under Vince McMahon's creative. I'm just gonna be completely honest with you, and that kind of sucks, but that's just the reality. But that is all for today's video. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching this video. I'm going to be producing pro wrestling news every single day, sometimes 3 times a day, 4 times a day. I don't know how many times a day, but as long as I keep you informed, I'm going to give you guys my opinions, my analysis, and of course, we got the live show Monday through Friday. With that being said, I'll see you guys next time right here on The Ango Show. Thank you for watching.